Charles Darwin was born February 12th in the year 1809. As a child, Darwin was clumsy but with great athletic skill. He was a swift runner and showed an interest in hiking in his youth. Darwin's interest in natural science began early on in his youth. His hobbies that triggered this included hiking, book reading, and chemistry. Despite later becoming a biology legend, Darwin did not have a particular focus at this point in his life. His father enrolled him in one of the most prestigious medical schools in Europe because of this. Charles Darwin traveled to the Galapagos Islands on a ship called the HMS Beagle. The HMS Beagle ventured on a total of 3 survey missions. Darwin was called to action on the second of these missions for his naturalist role. During the summer of 1831, the captain of the Beagle was looking for a naturalist for the voyage, as the second voyage had some great opportunities for collecting natural history specimens. It was on this voyage that Charles Darwin ventured to the famous Galapagos Islands. The Galapagos Islands are known by most people for their very unique array of organisms, and Darwin is no exception. As quoted from Darwin himself, "The natural history of this archipelago is very remarkable. It seems to be a little world within itself, the greater number of its inhabitants, both vegetable and animal, being found nowhere else." One of Charles Darwin's most famed observations of all time is the finches he studied on the Galapagos Islands. Whilst traveling among the islands, Darwin noticed something rather peculiar about the finches there. The size, shape, and strength in the beaks among these finches varied from island to island. That's not very peculiar, but Darwin also found that the finches' beaks varied among their different diets as well. It seemed as if nature had handpicked these traits to better the organism's chances of survival. It was then that Darwin soon adopted his theory of natural selection. Survival of the fittest is a term that arose with the popularization of Darwin's theory of natural selection. They go hand in hand with each other. What survival of the fittest basically means is that organisms that are best fitted to their environment have the greater chances of survival. This was the case with Darwin's finches. The finches had different types of beaks suited to the type of food they ate, and in this way they were best fitted for survival. This is also called natural fitness. One popular example is the peppered moths. The evolution of the peppered moth started about 200 years ago in England. The light-colored moths flourished at this time because they could easily hide on the light-colored trees to avoid predators. However, with the Industrial Revolution, pollutants in the air caused the light-colored trees to become blackened with soot. The light-colored moth population started depleting as the darker moths flourished. The darker moths now had a place to hide due to the blackened trees. Environmental standards over the years have almost rid the environment of air pollution, and so the blackened trees were light. Once again, the white-bodied peppered moth population flourished in its environment. And that is a precise and popular example of how natural selection works.